Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tutorial number 7. This time we're gonna go through some basics about lighting on your map and the different methods you can use. So first I'm gonna show you this site a little, the whole Half-Life. I will link this to the description again. I have linked it before, but I will link it again because here you can find a lot of useful information like error guides, many tutorials, and one very important place is the entity guides. Now if I'm gonna go here and go to the Half-Life entity guide, you can see this site has almost every single entity you will ever use for mapping, so really useful to learn more about different entities from here. Now you can also find the light entities here. These are the ones I'm gonna use now, 2 plus one extra method, but you can go check them here, learn a bit more, read about what different options do and stuff. Really useful place for learning more. So I made this small map in Hammer to demonstrate the different kinds of lighting you can do. Basically it's easiest to show them in game what they look like, so I will show that later. But first, in the first room we have the normal light entity. Just placed it as the default settings. Remember, the first 3 numbers are the color, red, green, blue, and the last one is the brightness. I'm gonna leave this to the default so you can see what it looks like. Now the normal light entity, it will basically emit light to every single direction from its center. So it will emit light to all of its surroundings, no special direction, it will just emit light everywhere. Really useful for some spots, especially like campfires or flames or stuff like that, really useful for those. In the second room we have the light spot. Now how this is different from the normal light is that it basically emits light in a cone downwards. I'm not even sure can you change the direction where it's sending the light, but by default it will go down, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Same settings here on the brightness. First 3 numbers are the color and the last one is the brightness. Now in light spot you're gonna want to increase the brightness by some amount because it's not as bright as the normal light entity, so you're gonna need to increase this if you want to see anything on the map. So that's the brightness settings. Now the other ones you should know about this is the inner and outer fading angles. Now the inner angle will mean how big the angle is where the brightest light will come in. So when it's 30 degrees the light will come in something like this. That will be the brightest spot of the light, and this will tell the game where the light will fade out completely. So if it's 45 degrees the light will fade out somewhere around here, about in the middle of the wall, I think. So yeah, the first setting tells where the brightest light will go, and the outer angle will tell where it will fade out. So if I increase this angle to something like 70, the light will reach all the way up to here maybe. So adjust these the way you need them to be. And in this room, this is the one you're most probably waiting for the most. This is where I will use the lights.rad file, which will make the texture itself emit the light without any entity like this. Now how you do this? You basically first you can make almost any texture glow. It can be almost anything. I just created a simple light. Now notice that the texture is different because I will make this texture glow. I couldn't use it here, so I'm using a different color here. Now first you wanna find out the texture name you want to make glow. So this is +0 something like 1. Then you're gonna go navigate to your Hammer mail folder. By the way, I'm using my main Hammer editor because I don't need the Hammer 2 anymore. That I help you set up. But yeah, go to the main folder, find the tools folder in here, and then go to lights.rad. Now you can open this with Notepad, for example, like this, really easy to edit. Now as you can see, a bit the same pattern here. The texture name will go here. The first three numbers, they are the color again, red, green and blue, and the last one is the brightness. Now you can have these open at the same time, check the texture name here and just add it like this. Whatever you're using, add it here. I took the color from the values I had here before for some other map I made. This was circle blue large. Now because the texture is blue, I chose the blue color. And you will need to increase the brightness a lot on these lights.rad things, depending on the size of the texture you want to be emitting light, so you will probably need to increase this a lot. I already tested this. I'm gonna need something like 3000 to even light up the room a little bit. I don't know what the maximum is in this, but this looked fine for me, and I have used 4000 before, as you can see. I think I even used 5000 on some map, but yeah. So lights.rad, the texture name goes here, the color values what you want it to be, and the brightness as the last. Then just save that. And also if you want to leave out, if you're using the same textures on some new map and you don't want them to glow, you can just remove the lines from here, or you can do this. This will comment away that line, so the compiler will not be reading this when it compiles. So you can just do this if you want to save the old values here. But I'm gonna leave them now because I didn't use these textures on my new map. So okay, so the name is here, values are here, brightness is here. That's okay. And then in the last little room here I have the sky texture. We did this before already, but yeah, I have a sky block right here. Oh shit, forgot null from the so I have the skybox texture right here, and I have the light environment on default settings. I didn't even change the pitch, so the light will come straight down from there and cast a shadow somewhere right here. So also I didn't change the color or brightness on that. So yeah, now I will show you these rooms in game because that's where it's easiest to see. Now I already compiled this map to make it faster again. Gonna open Counter-Strike. I just named my map tutorial 7. Gonna use the map command to go into this mode. Now here is the first room where I used a normal light entity. As you can see, it lights up pretty good. I'm gonna try to keep the camera still because I think that's when the quality of the video will be the best here. So yeah, as you can see, looks pretty good with the newest compile tools. The light will fade nicely on the walls, looks pretty realistic now. This is the most common way to make your lighting nowadays, I guess, but the one problem with this is that it emits the light everywhere from its middle, as I said. Now because it's just below the lamp, because it has to be, if it would be inside it would not cast enough light. So I placed it just below the light. Now as you can see, it also casts light right next to the lamp, which is not really realistic because the lamp cannot cast the light to the side because the texture is something solid there. So it should not be able to cast the light onto the ceiling at all. But it is doing it now because the light entity, it casts the light everywhere, so you can't really choose the direction where it will go. It doesn't look that bad, but it also doesn't really look realistic at all. But yeah, that's the normal light entity. Here we have the light spot. Now as you can see, a really big difference between these two. As you can see, the light comes down in a cone. So when I didn't change the pitch, you can now see that it fades out in a 45-degree angle, and the brightest light will come here in the 30-degree angle. This is really useful for creating some really atmospheric lighting for your map. Really useful for many things, but the biggest problem with this is maybe that the actual lamp itself is not glowing at all. As you can see, it looks like it's dark. So yeah, as I was saying, it really doesn't look that good because the lamp itself is actually dark, even though it should be emitting light. So I don't actually know if there is a way to fix this. If there is a way to fix this, but that's what it looks like right now. And also I forgot to mention about this. If you wanted to make look maybe a little bit more realistic, you could add, for example, a glow sprite into the lamp, so it looks like the lamp is glowing. But because it's a light entity, it is emitting the light straight upwards too, so it looks like the lamp is on when it's really not. But it looks like that now. Unlike here, when the light is only going down, the lamp itself stays dark like that. Now this is my favorite method of lighting maps, using the lights.rad. I don't know why so many mappers have something against this, but I think it makes really cool looking, and it's really easy to build really nice atmospheres for your map with this method, because you can basically create the lamps out of anything. Now, as you can remember, the amount of brightness I set was 3000, and it's still, you know, darker than this, which was something like 600 or so. But it's because mainly because of the color I used. I need to add a lot of brightness to make it light up the map. So as you can see, it looks really good because it looks like the lamp is actually glowing, and it will also emit light in a really cool way, straight down from the lamp. Instead of, it doesn't go up or anywhere, it will go straight outwards from the texture itself. Now I don't know if you can change the angle where the light comes from, or how the light comes from the texture, but I haven't really needed to do that so far. So yeah, I think this is my favorite method, because I really think it looks good and you can achieve really nice effects with it. Now in the last spot we have the light environment. Skybox is over there. I added the light environment, didn't change the settings at all, so you can see the light comes straight down like that, and casts the shadow here. Really easy method to use to light up outdoor maps and stuff like that, but when it comes to inside areas you will need some of these methods. You will have to choose yourself which suits the best, but yeah, now I showed you also the lights.rad method, which I really prefer. So have fun experimenting with these, and never underestimate the power of lighting and the effects it can have on a map's atmosphere.